going to be a game show host, then he needs to change his name to a verb, which he keeps trying to convince me that Splice
My name
is
a verb. Splice.
Splice is a verb.
Well, I know Splice is a verb,
Splice
but he keeps
very much a verb.
But he keeps telling me he doesn't splice anything, which
I splice film, not physically.
I think he needs to have the long, skinny microphone. That's what he needs.
Yes, 100% with the little golf ball at the end of it.
Yes.
100%.
Oh, the Bob Barker microphone.
Bob Barker microphone.
Yes, absolutely. This is something that needs to happen. Splice. This is now your life's mission.
Oh God, I didn't mute the podcast part.
I'll put it.
I hear everything like 3 times.
Well, I usually wait until I can hear that the volume's working before I mute it myself.
Indeed. All right, Lizzie, since you are here, can you help us do audio checks? Let me just wait for her to confirm.
Also, if Splice is going to be a game show host, his hair needs to be higher. Like all of the game show hosts have like the, what do you call it? The pompadour like thing where it like sweeps back, up and back.
I'm not
Drew
committing
Carey
to the
doesn't
game
have
show
that.
host lifestyle.
I mean
like
Martindale has that, but Drew Carey doesn't.
I didn't even know Drew Carey was a game show host. What does he do?
He replaced
Price
Bob
is
Barker.
Right.
Rice is
Oh.
right, maybe.
Oh, okay.
And if you go look him up, you're going to be shocked.
Also, whose line is it anyway?
Would you call that
Is
a
that
game
really
show?
a game show?
Different kind, but yes.
I love
It's
Who's
all-
Line.
It's a show, and they call it the game where the points are made up, or where everything's made up, and the points don't matter.
It's a game show like Game Changer or Make Some Noise as a game show.
Yeah, this is sort of the tone I'm going for with this.
Oh, you're trying to do the arbitrary point thing?
We're not awarding any points. It's just more. It's
Are you
gonna?
are you
way
gonna
to reveal?
Like survey
Well, then who's
says
the
sort of
plan?
thing.
Are you going to come up with some categories that that we have to
I think you guys know me well enough that won't be necessary.
It's okay. Nobody will know the rest of us, and so we'll need to come up with categories.
And the point is, these, like, it's supposed to be like, was you guys say stuff, and I might be like, actually, I considered that one. No, like, it's just gonna be a discussion. It'll be good.
It's just a chat. It's not. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get some actuallys going. Let's go.
Quit trying to.
Okay, all right.
Quit trying to formalize it.
We're not trying to formalize it. You're the one that came in here and said it was a game show, and we were like,
I said
"Wait,
it's
what?"
just kind of like a game show.
To be fair, they're right.
Be
on
fair. like we were ready to discuss, and then you changed formats on us.
It's not a big truck. You can't just dump things on it.
that. Sorry, but the name of
Exactly.
the game show is The Splice is Wrong.
I like that.
It's literally my
It's-
list.
It's a series of tubes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're wrong about yourself.
You're gonna
It's
need
fine.
to cool it off on your 2006 internet references.
Dude, that's like my core.
I know.
His entire repertoire consists of that one presentation.
It's a very specific act. What was it? Ted Stevens? Was that his name? Was that a different guy?
The senator from Alaska, yes.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if I was making up that name or not, because it's just such a generic
no,
name. I
yeah.
have no way of knowing if
Oh,
I'm
he
correct.
died in a plane crash.
What
Oh,
video was
that's right.
playing, by the way?
The internet got him.
Alexa, living room 200%.
Alexa, text boat.
This isn't on speakers, man. Alexa can't hear you.
I don't know.
She can hear everyone.
It's still I don't know why, but it happened on the sports radio station where one of them just yelled it. Alexa, text boat.
What off-brand FF7 game is playing on the reel right
Alundra 2, apparently. Also, we're also not using Watch Together.
now? Oh,
Yeah.
we're not.
I could have done it if I had prepared better, but I don't really have anything. So I have it up in case like someone feels we really need to do something, but
You made the assignments, yet you also didn't take the assignment seriously.
I just got busy. What with new
Mhm.
job.
We'll
That's
see
what
if
they all
old-
say.
a bold excuse. Let's see if it pays off for him.
You got busy
literally
like
better
I
pay.
cleared my whole evening for this.
You got-
My goodness.
busy like Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl?
Yes.
Not in my house.
You don't know what happens down here.
Not at Reese's
Anyway.
States.
All right, I'm going to get started. So here we go.
No, they-
Welcome to episode 32 of I Think We Overleveled. I really don't have a fancy intro for this. I got this idea listening to my sports radio station where they were discussing movies that their co-hosts have to watch to get their co-hosts, and I realized games are a lot like that. Where there are certain games people have to play to just get someone. So I put together a list of 16. If people like this, we'll do it again with a different host. They aren't ordered in importance. I just ordered them in time period, just order in which the games came out. And so I'm going to see what Petrivka, because he's the one who's known me the longest, what he thinks is a game that people have to know or play to know me.
Wow. Okay. Putting the pressure.
Yeah, they're
I'm gonna
straight.
go with the classic Mario Brothers.
Nope, not on the list. I don't really consider myself passionate about Mario Brothers in any way.
I mean, you don't
Yeah,
have to be passionate, but you know.
Jordan's
don't
not
think-
really a platformer player.
I just don't think you have to play it to get me at all. That, like, don't get me wrong, it's just, like, maybe the most important game to ever come out. Just, I don't know. It doesn't really speak to the Splice kind of existence.
The splice of it all.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'm first off the island.
It's not
Well, no,
part of the
there's
slice
not
of
there's
life.
not an island where you're.
Now, do we have to go in order, or can we get if we guess one and it
Oh,
just
no,
happens
no,
to be
this
on
is-
there? We
no,
go.
So
this
Okay.
someone
is-
can steal, I guess, right?
This is not stealing. This is not a game show.
Are we taking
I am-
turns? Or we?
Okay, negative 3
Cheap.
points to Petrivka. All right.
I'm gonna go get my recorder so I can play the Titanic theme badly.
That de-escalated quickly.
All right. No, it's I think it's and that's the thing is, like, there's some really good games that just aren't going to be on this list because they're just like, not really.
I
Not
mean,
really about
I have a couple that I'm fairly certain of,
I mean,
Well-
I figure it's probably an NES game, but yeah.
but again, we're not. We don't have to
There's
go in
actually
order.
only one NES game on the list.
I have a guess of what it is, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
That was one of the ones I really thought hard about, but
Well, either that or DuckTales.
not that either.
Neither of them.
I really like
Wow.
those games.
I
Don't
was
get me
thinking of
wrong.
the other Duck game, the Duck Hunt, but I went with Mario Brothers first.
No.
The first-person shooter.
No.
Super Scoop.
I guess it was
Probably Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually considered putting it on there as
Honestly, I feel like a negative example works in
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
I actually did consider it, but no, I didn't go with that either. I'm gonna.
I mean, the
reveal-
obvious one is Smash.
But
well,
which Smash?
All of them. I mean, like I mean, it's one of Splice's 5 defining characteristics.
If we're picking one, I would say Melee.
Melee, yeah.
Yeah, Melee.
So I debated
Or
really.
Ultimate.
I debated really. Those were the two I debated between. Melee, due to just my history, and Ultimate because it
Amiibo.
has all Smash, but it also has Amiibo, which is a huge component of my entire streaming life. And this was the one I debated the second most between. But ultimately I went with Melee.
Ultimately,
It's
ironic.
Foundation,
See,
I think. You know,
thank you. I'm glad you got what I went with there. Thank you.
Oh, so that was pun intentional. Okay.
Yes. But no, and so yeah, I went with, I don't know. Melee is just a whole vibe unto itself.
Melee is the reason I know you.
Indeed.
yeah, it's a lot
Same
of
here.
reasons people know you.
And that's sort of why I ultimately again went with it. Is just because I think Melee also does a better job of sort of putting you in the place of someone like myself who was playing the game at that time when there weren't a bazillion players, weren't a bazillion characters, and we didn't know everything yet. Plus, there's something to be said for the adventure mode of Melee that I really, as much as like World of Light and Subspace Emissary are really good, I think the adventure mode is still my favorite.
The adventure mode of Melee is why I bought a GameCube.
Really?
Because I saw someone playing it, I was like, okay, this just seems fun. Because it was platforming plus Smash Brothers, and it just seemed great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. All right, so that's what who got that? Because I'm supposed to assign points now. You guys decided?
No, there's no points.
Oh, okay, sorry, I got
confused.
Remember,
the points don't matter.
Well, I think all of us had that one, yeah.
All right. Who hasn't tried?
So I'm up to two. Yes.
That wants to take a stab at it.
Sorry, what was that?
Is there anyone who hasn't guessed yet that wants to take a stab at it?
I mean, if we all got that one, that means we all guessed, doesn't it?
Yeah. All I know is there's one I definitely want to say, but I only guessed because it was specifically just NES. But
yeah, if we're going in any order, I have some ideas. But if we're doing, if we're trying to go in order,
no, you don't need to go in order.
No.
Okay, I've got one that I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
A pretty definitive one, I think, and that's Arkham City.
Yeah, Arkham City, 100%. That's
City Interactive.
This is just one of the best games I've ever freaking played. I love Arkham City.
I got to tell a Splice story about this one, because when this game came out, it was right before Thanksgiving, I believe. And was it Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Let's see. I have the date written down somewhere.
Other than a holiday.
It was in Halloween. It was
okay. It was right before Splice went out of town.
Yeah,
is what it was. Though.
My family was going on a vacation. I think it was to Puerto Rico, and so I think I only had like 1 week.
No, you had like 2 or 3 days. I think.
Okay, you like it was something insane.
You mainlined this game. And I remember because you used the TV downstairs and just kind of locked yourself away because you didn't want to spoil the game for me. And
yeah,
there were times like I would go down either to do laundry or to go because my office was down there at the time, and you were just like, "Don't come in right now. You do not want to come in." Just because there was a spoiler cutscene happening. Not this is an embarrassing situation for both of us sort of situation.
We don't know that, but
did you play Arkham City or Arkham Asylum first?
Arkham Asylum.
But Arkham City is we've had this discussion that Arkham City is your favorite of them all, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
It's got more. Yeah.
It just got way more than Asylum, and it feels to me like the perfection of the Asylum formula.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, of all the games, it has by far the best storyline. And when you combine that with all the voice actors from the animated series, which is a huge part of my childhood, and it combined everything together for me in this perfect little, I don't know. I loved Arkham City. And while I actually also really I think Arkham Knight gets a bad rap, and I think Origins gets a bad rap. I just think City's the total package.
Yeah. Arkham Knight's my favorite of them, but I get why City would be.
I do think Arkham Knight has better systems overall, but it's just the story isn't as good as City.
And that's fair.
So
if we're just going in no order, and I think I'm at a disadvantage here because I only know what are going to probably be the obvious ones, and if they're not on the list, I'm just screwed. But I want to go out.
I'm in a similar boat.
Right. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say probably World of Warcraft is on the list somewhere.
Which one?
I don't know. There's more than one.
There's more than one.
I picked a specific
I could guess which expansion.
Then it's Wrath of the Lich King.
Correct.
Give us some time to actually guess before you pipe in.
There's more than one?
And the reason why is that, as I've known Splice, he just keeps going back to that game. And it was
haven't
funny
gone
at
back
times.
In a long time.
You haven't, but there was a couple of times there where you went back to the game. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, oh, I'm playing World of Warcraft. It's like, didn't you tell me to never let you play that again?
No.
And it's like, no, it's okay now because like I'm all right with it. And it's like, okay, but you
That's
said
literally never a conversation that happened. Never a conversation. You're making things
It's
up.
always a conversation with us. It's like it's like, oh no, it's fine now. It's like, okay, but you said that don't let you do this. It's like, all right, you're an adult.
I gotta chime in for a Splice on this one. Sorry, this is not how things go.
No,
yeah, I'm summarizing because this last time it was just one of those like, oh, you're playing that again? Thought you said you were done with it for reasons, and it's like, oh, no reasons, no more. Okay.
It was just World of Warcraft scratches a particular itch for me that, as I've tried with other MMOs, I've played about 5 different MMOs as if I think through it. It scratched it the best, but during Wrath of the Lich King was when it was the most fun because I was just in the guild I had the most fun with because I knew most of them personally because they were in our college club, and the push to beat the Lich King before it went to pre-patch and thus we couldn't get the achievement was just one of the coolest gaming moments of gaming. Because there's just nothing beats trying to work together to achieve a common goal. Plus, narratively, it's actually, I think, also just narratively the tightest of all their expansions.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best story-wise.
But
it's funny because I think of World of Warcraft is the one that always seems kind of strange to me that's one you play because I think of all the things that you say you hate in video games, and World of Warcraft has every single one of those downsides.
Like what?
It didn't always have a lot of those downsides, though.
Like which ones?
Grinding, inventory management.
Inventory management's very different in that, though.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not having to switch
RPG...
stuff in the middle of a fight or anything like that.
Also, add-ons can fix a lot of that.
I mean, I just think of him as not an RPG guy,
but MMOs are just like very different.
Games.
Just are very different, especially
they are.
Especially when you get to the communal aspect of it.
It's true.
Yeah, there's the whole, the phrase is that the game begins at end game, but the reality is the game drastically changes once you hit max level. For most of them, at least.
I also find it somewhat interesting that what little I know is I do understand that the Lich King, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is a fallen paladin, and most of how I've known Splice, he is, even though very obviously he is a warlock, described himself as a paladin. So I find it interesting that the whole downward arc of a paladin into corruption is the one that he finds his favorite.
It's the opposite. It's we're putting down the fallen paladin.
Yeah, the downward arc is in Warcraft 3.
Yep.
Which actually I never played any of the Warcraft games.
Tragic.
You got to take it off your list now.
I really don't.
It's a prerequisite.
Definitely.
It just becomes World of.
Yeah, it's just world.
No, but that's the other thing that this is kind of the other reason I needed to put it on here. I'm also the type of guy who will delve into something else's lore without really partaking. Like I've really fallen into Warhammer lore. And that's for me, World of Warcraft was the same thing.
Yeah, it's funny, there's a living room right outside Jordan's bedroom, and I'll be watching TV or playing something, and when he goes to bed, he listens to Warhammer lore.
Yeah, I found a guy who covers Warhammer lore, and he could be talking about the most horrific thing in the world, but his voice is verbal Ambien, and I go to sleep to it so simply. He's just got this.
He sent me this guy's YouTube because I'm a noted insomniac, and I tried it, and just my problem is I just focused on the story, and it kept me up longer.
Yeah, and so some of his did that, but other ones I've gotten used to the voice, and like I'll listen to it for like one video 3 weeks straight because I keep falling asleep, and that's just how slowly I'm moving through the video. So he's
That's
getting
funny.
really good watch hours off me. But yeah, and so for me, World of Warcraft was a similar thing. I delved into the lore that way. All right. Next guess.
All right. I want to guess an obvious one, if that's all right.
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay, perfect. I will guess XCOM.
Which one?
Ooh.
Terror from the deep! Terror from the deep!
No, that's your list.
That's your entire list.
Terror from the Deep has to be on there twice. For Pirate.
He buys a third of the list.
Oh gosh.
This is his 16, and he puts it on there 17 times.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. There's Enemy Unknown, Enemy Within, XCOM 2, and War of the Chosen, huh?
Mhm.
Correct.
Between it'd be one of the ones, the expanded version, so either War of the Chosen or Enemy Within. And I know War of the Chosen has become your thing lately, but I'm gonna say Enemy Within first.
Anyone else?
I would say it's just Enemy Unknown.
Yeah, just basic Enemy Unknown is what I
Just
would say.
basic Enemy Unknown? Okay.
I'd actually go with Looney on this one.
I've actually chosen War of the Chosen.
Okay.
Okay.
We're all wrong.
The specific reason for War of the Chosen is kind of a recent thing, is delving back into it. It's really reignited my creativity. And I just also
That's fair.
Of all the XCOM games I've played, I like the gameplay of War of the Chosen the most because
It had some of those Star Trek voices.
well, look, you're not wrong, but also it's the most moddable it's ever been. And on top of it, I just like the decisions they've made to prevent you from trying to play specific ways that are kind of boring and push you as a player, which I think is a little more in the XCOM style. Because
yeah, everyone hates on the timers, but the timers make that game.
Yeah, and so that's why I chose War of the Chosen. Now, Gordon's the whole reason I'm even into XCOM at all, and it's all because
and that's why I went
it's all
unknown.
because of his the night before he got married.
His weird bachelor party.
The bachelor party that was supposed to be a lot more people, and it ended up being just us because people
I don't
got
even
stuck
remember
on
what we were supposed to have done.
we were gonna be playing Rock Band if I remember correctly, but
Oh, was that what the plan was?
yeah,
it's been
but
so long.
Tyler and Bill got held up with like travel problems or something.
And your brother.
And his brother just missed his
he
flight.
barely even made the reception.
And so it was just the two of us, and I don't remember. So we just started watching YouTube videos, and Gordon just goes, you should watch this Beagle Rush guy.
Oh my gosh, Beagle Rush, yes.
Wait, was that your introduction to XCOM?
You changed his life.
My literal introduction was Gordon playing it, but he was playing the old school stuff, and it just didn't click with me.
Playing it for more hours in a day than there are in a day.
Yeah. Still the coolest glitch ever, but
Gordon, the alien from the debut.
Sorry, Patrivka's real name is Gordon, and so
oh no, I've been doxxed.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
I screw it up all the time.
Just Splice, man, come on.
I know,
bruh.
Full name and address is redacted.
So now we know that Jordan and Gordon have been friends forever, and it's as funny to meet them in person the first time as it sounds.
The first time we introduced each other at the same time, and then we looked at each other.
No.
Oh, that sounds really stupid when we do that. We got to not do it that way. But yeah, XCOM 2, War of the Chosen, had to include it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're starting to fill things out more towards the more recent end, but there's still a lot of space.
I'm going to take a swing.
Oh,
Okay.
swing.
And you seem to be doing one per franchise, it seems.
I think I did that.
I don't think he set that rule, but
Yeah, I think I
that's how
did that.
It's one of those things. It can be hard to justify more than one in a single franchise unless there are two very distinct reasons.
I could see someone picking multiple Final Fantasies because each of those games have such different vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I could say, oh, I love this one and I hate this one, and yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Petrivka, you were going to guess.
Oh yes. Well, now if we have to get specific, but it's got to be a Metroid on this list.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I would.
He said
I
that
would
there was one NES game on this
I would
list
say
and it's already
Prime.
been guessed.
I would say
was gonna
Prime 1.
Prime would be the one, but when there was an NES one, I'm like, it might be just Super Metroid. But I want to say Metroid Prime for Splice.
That
Super
would not
Metroid's
be
SNES.
So
I would say Prime.
I was stuck on the list at 17 for a very, very long time, and I had to cut something that I really wanted to keep.
Was that Prime?
And that was Prime,
You
unfortunately.
cut Prime?
So
You
the
cut
reason
it.
I'm amazed.
so the reason
Wow.
for it is because there are two games.
Splice.
There are two games that fill a very similar niche for why I love them, and I ultimately chose the one that I feel left a in the moment left a bigger imprint. And so I shall reveal it here now. Halo
Super Metroid?
Combat Evolved.
Trial Edition. Trial Edition.
So, Gordon knows why I ultimately had to go with Halo Combat Evolved. Gordon?
Oh my gosh. So we all met freshman year in college, and everyone had an awesome gaming computer. I didn't, so I was not part of this club. But the game of the year was Halo, and you could get the trial edition and play multiplayer, and that is the game. Well, that and StarCraft. Those are the games that we played as a floor essentially of our dormitory.
Yes.
I think we even had a clan.
Yes, we had a trial version clan. It was the dumbest crap ever, but we were terrors on Blood Gulch, the only level you could play on the trial.
I think we
version.
had a hardy competition with the UVU.
Oh yeah, we found some guys that are at a different. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's the greatest lame thing ever.
It's amazing.
The greatest lame thing ever. But Halo, I had to choose Halo for one other reason over Prime. Because both of them, the tone of the games are very similar. And they both feature Halo, an almost silent protagonist. Metroid literally won. They have great environmental storytelling. But I had to choose Halo over Prime for one other reason. And it's because Halo is the reason that my name is Splice.
Oh.
When I first had to come up with a gamer name, I went with the name Splice because I collected comic book cards, and there was this character named Splice that I'm like, that's a cool sounding word. I didn't know what it meant at the time.
We're forgetting the Payday era.
So don't worry, this is coming in. And I'm sitting there, and I went with Splice originally, and then I left. I went on an LDS mission. A lot of people know. And I came up with a different name, P-Day, which is only significant to LDS missionaries because P-Day, short for Preparation Day, is the day that is basically your day off for all intents and purposes. And so missionaries love that. And so when I came back, I was sticking with that name for a good long while until Halo 2. I came home for Christmas, and one of my old buddies from high school, he had really gotten into Halo 2, and this was at the height of Halo 2 LAN parties. And so I brought my Xbox over. We hooked it up. I'm not good compared to these guys, but we're having a great time. And they're treating me like the kid with a disability scoring a goal whenever I get a good kill. And then from across the house, because there's like 16 people just shoved into this house over Christmas break, I hear, "Nice shot, Paday," which then quickly I started getting called Buday.
And that was the end of that.
And that was like, we're going back to Splice, even though I found out that character was a lame guy who was in like 2 comics, and it's stupid. Look up Splice on Marvel Comics. You'll be like, wow, that's stupid. And so Halo, that's the
I'm
other
sure
reason
he'll get his own cameo somewhere.
No, he will not.
Is this like a Snowflame type character?
No, because Snowflame's at least interesting. Splice is a Wonder Man villain, which so that already tells you how lame we're working with. He is
like the D tiers.
No, this is like F tier. This guy, he was like a former stunt guy, and for some reason he had some vendetta, and so he donned a green ninja costume and tried to fight Wonder Man. It's so stupid. But I stuck with it because it was better than being water shoved up people's butts. All right. So yeah.
Well, the funny thing is I even had this conversation with Lizzie just today, and I say it every now and then. I'm like, you know what? I love that he's still P-Day in my phone, and that's not going to change.
And that's perfectly fine.
So I called P-Day today. I didn't call Splice. I called P-Day on my phone.
But yeah, so that is number 5 on the list. There's only 4 games that came before that.
I can think of one that should be very, very obvious to Lunsar and Petrivka.
I was going to say, I can think of one as well that might be the same one. It might not be.
Yeah, no, it's probably the one I was planning to guess next, actually.
Then guess it.
All right. Team Fortress 2.
That's the one. It's got to be on there.
It has to
for
be.
sure. Yes.
100%.
Yeah. This... Oh, shoot. I'm off on this list. We're going to fix things. Anyway. Yeah. Team Fortress 2... That's another one that's entirely because of Gordon.
And I have a suspicion that I know number 8, but I'll guess that after we've talked about this.
You do, because I misnumbered them.
Oh, well done. Then never mind. The one I was going to guess is not in there.
There we go.
The orange box was still one of the best gaming packages ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I remember when the orange box came out. Because I had just barely, gotten back to college because I took my 2 years off the same way Splice did. And I was being incredibly studious that very first semester because I took a workload that, they thought was
maybe
insane.
Unadvisable.
I don't know. I did fine though. But I'm sitting in my differential equations class and the person next to me, he's like, "Hey, dude, what?" He's like, "I just downloaded this new game that came out today, and you got to hear this." And he shoves an earbud in my ear, and then I hear a voice that is known as GLaDOS. And during this differential equations lecture, we just suddenly just can't stop laughing at the hilarity that is GLaDOS as it came out as part of the orange box.
Yeah. Team Fortress 2 is on this list because, one, the game's just really good and has withstood the test of time in a way very few games ever have. 2, the humor of the game itself, not just its shorts, which its shorts are amazing.
They're brilliant.
But
incredible.
Even in the game, the humor is hilarious. You will hear lines to this day that you still somebody like, how have I never heard this line? Because they have lines for so many specific situations that don't come up normally. And then on top of it, some of just the environmental stuff that happens, like when you get blown up and it freeze frames on your gizzard, your head, and it's like pointing out where you've been splattered everywhere. And then the soundtrack for the game is so good. Team Fortress 2 is a masterpiece.
I don't think people have gizzards.
Yeah, but it points it out anyway.
That's awesome.
I also, don't think you have multiple of different organs as well, like pop out in that game. Like
No.
skulls. Typically, people only have one of those.
Typically, but
typically, you don't know everybody though.
Depends on your drop rate.
No, this is one.
Warcraft.
Like Splice and I have been friends and roommates for a good long while at this point. And for I'd say at least half of that time, that was his game of choice.
Very long
It was
time.
it was the game that he was going back to every time.
The Secret Agent Clan was glorious.
Secret Agent Clan.
In a similar one, I think I know what 9 is then.
Okay.
Is it Peggle Extreme?
It is not, but
no Peggle?
So the reason for no Peggle, there's something that is very Peggle related that
By the way, can you tell me how many hours you have in Peggle?
No, I can't actually because it didn't properly count it. So
no.
I have hundreds, but it should definitely be
you have thousands.
Yeah. It's Steam. It does not
like every spare minute, I swear.
Peggle is a game that I would play whenever I was listening to sports, listening to books, like it was just I can turn my brain off and play. And so in honor of Peggle.
Is it the new one that you've been?
Is it Peglin?
It's Peglin.
Okay.
It's earned a place on your list. Wow.
So Peglin's good because it hits Oh, hey, how's it going, Knight? Peglin.
Because I was considering Slay the Spire.
So this is why I chose Peglin. Because Peglin combines a couple different games for me.
Right.
Slay the Spire is a game.
Look this one up.
I 100%.
It's so
Peglin
good.
takes the gameplay of Peggle, but it gamifies it where the number of pegs you hit and how you do it deals damage to mobs that are at the top of the screen like an RPG. But you gain different balls and relics like Slay the not balls, but ball cards are replaced with balls in this. And it puts it into a roguelike formula inspired by Slay the Spire. And it is so much fun. And it's definitely my new I'm listening to something else and I just want something to sort of occupy me. And
You're
so
welcome.
I get that. I have a few of those.
Yeah, and so Peglin hits a couple of those for me. And so I chose Peglin to represent a couple different games.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like though Peggle Extreme definitely deserves an honorable mention just because
Yes.
That game.
Not Peggle, Peggle Extreme.
Yes. Not the
that
full
came
game.
with the orange box.
That's right. That's where it came from. I forgot about that.
Well, did it come with it or was it just free?
I think it was just like a freebie on Steam.
It came out around the same time, probably.
Yeah.
And then it went away, and then it's come back since.
Yeah, some games have annoyingly done that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why. So Peggle Extreme was going to be on there, but then I think Peglin hits a couple of those things that need to be represented. Because again, this list was hard for me to whittle down.
That's fair.
Understandable.
So yeah, it's the second most recent one. Peglin's come out longer than it's been out longer than I realized.
Then I know what 16 is.
Do you?
Well, I mean, it might not be 16, but the way that you said it, now I'm doubting myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess Balatro.
It's not Balatro. I definitely was considering it though.
Okay. But Balatro also gets covered by Peglin as well because it's the same sort of itch for you.
Exactly.
So.
Well,
I'm willing
to know what
number 9 is.
Okay.
Minecraft?
Not Minecraft did not end up making the list.
Surprising.
The reason for it, I decided everyone plays Minecraft. And it just doesn't say enough about me.
So don't call it Minecraft. Call it Minecraft Alpha.
Yeah, like the old magic.
Yeah.
I've got a guess. I'm not going to guess what number it is.
Or Mojang's Minecraft.
Back when the minecart glitch still worked. Ah, good times.
But what does it come
that game forged friendships.
What about Hi-Fi Rush? I'm pretty sure that's probably on there somewhere.
It's not.
I have-
That one was so hard for me to leave off just because I love that game.
Maybe, I don't know.
I love
like
that
then
game.
I have no idea what the criteria is for the rest of this.
No,
so
it's
it's
just
be pretty useless.
No, Hi-Fi Rush. So the reason Hi-Fi Rush was so high up for a game that's so recent and for the most part, like I've only played it through the one time. But it hits the humor, it hits the gameplay, and it's quirky in a way that very few games are. And I almost put it on the list.
For me, the reason why I would say that is because it was the first game in quite a while that you seemed genuinely excited for, but not for stream reasons. It was just like it was a game for you.
Yes.
When I don't think I'm
like
doing too behind baseball, but like you do Amiibo and XCOM, like for content that can get,
Hi-Fi Rush was so Prime was the last one I left off. Hi-Fi Rush was the second to last one I left off. Like it almost made it.
It was your 18.
Yeah. It's just the 16 is actually far more limiting once you start having to do this.
Oh, I know. I've had a list where I forgot something and went back and inserted it in the middle, so I had 8A and 8B.
And I almost did that with Prime and Combat Evolved, and then I told myself, no, you can't chicken out. You have to make a decision.
Make the hard decision.
Indeed.
That way we're not allowed to chicken out either.
Yeah.
All right. I have a guess for number 1.
Okay.
I just was struck by a bolt of inspiration. Is it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the video game? The first
one?
NES, first NES one.
Not the first
level.
one, but
the one
Turtles
with the
in Time.
Time, man.
No, Turtles in Time. If you're going for SNES, Turtles in Time. Yeah,
yeah, that's.
I picked.
I would say it was the arcade game.
There it is. Okay,
the arcade.
Because again, he's told us that there's only one NES game on this list. So
that doesn't necessarily mean the NES game is the oldest.
The reason I said the first one though is because that's one that he has spoken of in regards to like formational moments, and so. But I totally get why 2 would be. I would probably choose 2 for myself.
So
if
this,
I was choosing between the 2.
This is because this was the first true multiplayer game I played a lot. I played this with my cousin and my best friend growing up. Turtles in Time is objectively better, 100%. But this is the one that I think gets you the most in the mindset of a kid starting to play video games in the very early 90s. And where I started to learn to play well with others.
Now, question: did you play this first or the actual arcade?
I'll be honest,
version?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was young enough to where I know I saw it at Funtime Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I played that first or the game first. Or the NES game first, I should
say. That occupies like the same space as the Simpsons and the
exactly.
And the X-Men. I can't remember what that one was called.
It's just called the X-Men.
Or just
X-Men.
The one that had Nightcrawler?
Yes.
The one that had Nightcrawler and Dazzler.
And Cyclops. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
I was so happy when they had that at Penny Arcade. Or not Penny, what am I calling? Nickelcade. That was the name of the place.
Yeah, and so, but I ultimately just went with this one. All right, so this is the other thing that I now have to reveal that it'll be a heresy amongst this group. There's not a single Super Nintendo game on this list.
Oh, what?
Really?
Who are you?
So I want to. So I didn't own a Super Nintendo growing up.
That's true. Okay.
So no Super Mario RPG.
No, you had a Genesis.
Super Metroid.
Nothing on the Genesis either. Because
did you just skip that gen?
There wasn't anything that I consider core to me on that gen. No.
You and I are very different people.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just when I came to
we go straight to the 64.
Dude, like me and Baggins are going to be like at least half of them are going to be Super Nintendo.
Very possibly.
Of all those games that I would have put on this list, the 2 that I considered, Donkey Kong Country 2 was close on the list. I do love that game.
The second one, interesting.
Yeah, it's the better game. And
sure.
And Madden 96 for the Sega Genesis, because I played the crap out of that game, and I am a huge sports fan. I ultimately decided it didn't need to be on the list, though.
Man, 96 was such a weird year for sports games because it like spanned so many different systems.
But yeah, so there's a far more recent bias towards this list.
Right. I just had a thought. I have, but I've guessed a lot recently, and I was
going to say I can, but I'll let someone else too.
No, go for it.
Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie?
I would say Kazooie for
Kazooie. Yeah,
Kazooie. Okay,
I would say it's
correct.
A solid,
Number 2.
That's the one I was going to guess, actually. So
nice.
Banjo-Kazooie is.
There has to be a rare N64 game in here.
Yeah. First of all, it's the only game, or the first game I ever speed ran. After I 100%ed, I'm like,
speed ran?
I did it. This is long before speed running was a thing. But I thought to myself, because I beat the game in about 25 hours, and I'm like, now that I know it, I bet I could do it in under 10 hours. And I got it in 9 hours and 50 minutes. And I was really proud of that as a kid. But the game's humor, the actual gameplay, it's everything I love, and it's just a really fun game. Yeah. So actually, Lizzie, Psychonauts was also on the list of I couldn't.
Oh no!
Psychonauts isn't on there.
Yeah.
Well, you did make it clear.
Such a Psychonauts stand.
I thought I knew you.
No. Wait. He did make it clear this isn't necessarily a list of his favorite games.
Yes, like if this were a list of my top 10, basically the issue is I'm like I need a platformer because I'm not a huge platformer guy, even 3D platformer, and so I need to pick at least one 3D platformer, and I chose Banjo.
Banjo-Kazooie is the absolute one for you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Even though if I were listing my favorite games all time, Psychonauts would be above Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Banjo-Kazooie is more representative of. Also, I need a little more from my childhood as well, I felt.
Okay, here's a weird question for you.
Okay.
Are there any mobile games?
There are no mobile games. I did consider Two Dots.
And that's the one that I was wondering about.
But no mobile games. Well, I guess one is actually technically a mobile game. It wasn't originally, though.
I was going to say that's Peglin, though. But Peglin was...
Oh, I guess there's two, then.
Peglin was on mobile before it was on other systems.
I didn't know that.
I think I know what another one is, then.
Okay.
Is it Hearthstone?
It's not Hearthstone. That was also considered on the list.
Yeah, I think it's covered by World of Warcraft.
StarCraft.
It isn't, though.
There we go.
StarCraft.
I can't believe we haven't just said this straight out.
StarCraft Brood War, because it's again
we mentioned
college.
I mentioned it, but we didn't follow it out.
Brood War,
got mentioned but never followed up.
That was where my true hardcore gaming started, was with playing
that one
Brood
my
War.
Computer could handle, so I could actually play with these guys and get beat.
It's kind of funny that you guys are talking about StarCraft in college, because for me that was high school, and then by the time I was in college, we'd moved on to Counter-Strike and then TF2. So,
Well, StarCraft was one of those games that up until StarCraft 2 and even a little bit after, and even now for some people, it still just remains. Like, I was in high school a little before StarCraft 2 came out, and we were still like passing around flash drives with copies of StarCraft 1 ISO installed.
See,
so we could
this
do
UMS
UMS and stuff.
This was freshman year for me and Gordon, and we were passing around CDs because flash drives weren't really a thing at that point. And the game had come out a long time ago, but I had never played because I didn't have a computer growing up where I could really play games on, because it was just the family computer and my dad would use it for business.
Oh, so this is really your
that's
first
why I
like,
played
PC
StarCraft.
game.
That was one of the few things I could play.
Now, no, my first PC game was Doom 2, but my mom despised Doom 2 and eventually threw my dad's strategy guide away. And I figured out that she's the one who did it. And I had stumbled in upon a marital dispute, and I didn't want to get in the middle. She was not pleased with how much time he was wasting on Doom 2, let me tell you. Doom 2 almost made the list. But yeah, so Brood War was my first real computer gaming experience.
Build some arbiters. That sounds cool.
Exactly. That's there was so much wasted time at freshman year of college playing Brood War. Once we found out that the LAN system hooked up between all the dorms.
Oh boy.
It went.
Oh yeah, the unmetered internet. Oh my gosh, that was a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this isn't a guess, but Peglin came out in 2022, which means that number 16 is more recent than that. I'm just trying to get other people's brains thinking on that.
Pretty darn new.
It's a fairly recent one.
Well, though I think
more
3,
recent
we know
than
that much.
Peglin.
Peglin, I think he just barely got Peglin though. I don't think he's.
I
but
did it in order of release date.
Release date, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why
Peglin-
Brood War is at number 3. If it were in terms of played, it'd be at number 4.
Got it.
Peglin came out of early access, like it did its official 1.0 release fairly recently, but it's been a thing for a while.
No, but it was officially. It says it was released in 2022, and I'm guessing that
Long ago. Wow.
That's the date I went with. Yeah, apparently it was made
Again,
during
after 2022.
during COVID.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I'm not sure if this is 16 or 14, but I can throw one in based on the thumbnail itself.
No, you can't actually. I purposely picked a thumbnail that wouldn't be on
You
it.
purposely
Red
picked Persona
herring.
5 when that is not on your list.
I couldn't think of anything else other than show your true self, other than Persona 5.
Though, well, Persona 4 is, the battle theme song is Pursuit of True Self. But, though, I don't know. Is there something in here about you not being an RPG guy? I mean, if anything, Persona 5 is like, I'm not an RPG guy, but here's one I did like, sort of thing.
No, I mean, I didn't consciously do anything like that, though looking through this. Yeah, no true RPGs on the list.
Okay.
Okay,
The only one on the list that I would consider an RPG would be WoW, but that's an MMO.
Yeah, WoW was an MMO.
What about a shooter?
I was thinking there's
Mass Effect.
there's got to be a Mass
Taylor?
Effect game on here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you play
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
if
Mass
it's
Effect
2 or
2.
3.
Put
I
one in.
can't do Mass Effect. It hurts too much. I couldn't put Mass Effect on there.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Mass
I
Effect
would
3
put it-
disappointed me so
Really?
much.
Just
because-
because of the ending, huh?
The ending, it taints the whole thing for me.
It is
Yeah.
pretty awful.
There are.
The
two
game was
games-
awesome, but the ending was terrible.
The ending,
but-
it made all those cool decisions feel pointless.
Yeah. There are 2
Oh
games.
no!
that
When you sell a game on every decision that you make is going to make an impact in the final, and this is a trilogy, and then it doesn't. Yeah,
It
like,
just felt
I'm
so.
with you there. No,
just
I'm with you
slur.
100 there.
No, but Splice, there are 2 games that you have gone into gamer coma since you and I have been roommates,
Okay.
So-
and that is Arkham City and Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
So
I went to hardcore gamer coma on Mass Effect 3.
though I feel like there should be a Mass Effect on there. If nothing else, the speech about how Newton's first law is the baddest son of the gun in the galaxy.
Mass Effect 2 does
Yeah,
have one
it's
of the
good-
best
some
gaming speeches
lines,
I've
man.
ever heard. I won't lie.
Was that in 2 or was that in 1?
That's in 2.
I think it was 2. Yeah.
Great line. You do not wing it. Oh gosh. how
You
does it
do
go?
not eyeball it.
Eyeball it. That's it.
I love that. Now, one of the games that's on this list, Baggins and I
That's a good
brought
question,
up
Lizzie.
recently. We talked about recently just because, specifically for the dialogue.
For the what?
The dialogue.
For the dialogue.
What did we talk about for the dialogue?
I'm gonna throw Lizzie's in here. Is it Portal?
Almost.
Portal 2?
Portal's
Portal
solid.
2?
Portal 2's number 9.
Okay.
Lizzie, you get 5 points.
She does.
Love how the orange box shows up in some form twice.
Portal 2.
Portal 2's technically not
Yeah.
orange. But,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I said
I probably about
represent-
once per year go back and just listen to Cave Johnson and just laugh.
When life gives you lemons, make combustible
Well, and
lemonade.
if you haven't heard the updated
Big
lines
grenades.
from all the I forget what they called it, the Portal Initiative or whatever they called it, where people could play other people's levels and they just throw in random multiple universe Cave Johnson lines. There are so many hilarious things. But
Are those not in the game or?
they're not in the base game. No, they're even more.
Interesting.
Yeah, look it up. It's a ton of fun. But
There
Portal
are so
2
many Portal mods out there now.
Yeah, but Portal 2, Portal is just, it hits a different itch than any other game I've ever played. And if you haven't played the Portal games, you gotta play the Portal games.
Physics
so
and
much
puzzles,
fun.
man. It's just great.
Yeah. It's that simple. Nothing else is quite like Portal. And if you haven't played it, you don't get me. All right. You can either try and go for 4, or we can start trying to fill in these last few more recent ones.
Well, and again, 16 is one. I'm trying to figure it out because it would.
I can think of one that you played a lot, but it's probably didn't make the list though.
What
It's
would
the
that be?
last 2.5 years.
Civilization 4. I don't think that you have it on here. though,
That's
but you
another
played
game that I went into
You
a coma
a
with.
ton. I know.
It's, again, your fault.
I know. Absolutely.
It's okay. You got punished for it.
All I know is what's between Brood War,
Brood War and Halo. Yeah.
So I will say, but this is, don't consider those two, like 4 should be closer to 2.
There's not a lot of time there.
Yeah, those were fairly close
I
together.
didn't play Brood War till it came out.
No, but I'm not
Yes,
thinking
they're
about
kinda
when
like-
you played it. I'm thinking about what was released then.
Yeah.
It's another
they were pretty close
N64 game,
together.
and I don't
Early
think it's one you
2000s.
guys would guess.
Oh, it's not GoldenEye?
No, it's not.
I mean, I would think that maybe a
Can
GoldenEye
we
would make
narrow it
but-
down with some like 20
Categories.
question style
Genre?
guessing?
A genre, maybe.
The genre would give it away immediately.
Oh,
The game break.
You know what? I'll just say this one.
Superman 64. No.
Oh, heavens
Superman
no.
64.
Better not.
Mario Party 3.
Okay.
Mario
Ooh.
Party.
I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the game I played with my sisters growing up. And this is the game that we would nearly destroy the family over.
Oh, yes.
But 3 specifically, because 3 had the not Tetris game that's in it inside. Like you have thwomps and stuff. I don't know what it was, but there was a period of about 3 months growing up where every Sunday morning before church, we would play that one mini game over and over again, and I don't know
and you
why.
drive the spirit away.
Oh yeah,
Which one?
I forget what it's called, but it's not Tetris.
I don't think I ever
There's
played the
thwomps.
third one, so I don't know it as well.
I think
Looking it up.
2 has the better maps. 3 has the better mini games.
I think it's apparently it's just called Mario's Puzzle Party.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Huh.
But yeah. So all right. Every other game on this list comes 2018 or later.
Last
Wow.
6 years.
But yeah, one of them is very indie. Another, let's see.
Okay. I've got a guess.
Ooh, it's okay. I gotta. It's
I'll
one
let
of
Looney
2
guess
games
first.
that are the same developer.
Then I think we're thinking of the same ones.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to pick the first one? I'll take the second one, and we'll claim points
Say it
that
at the
way,
same
or
time.
vice versa.
Yes. Okay. Well. Okay. I'll take space. You take terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. FTL.
Into the breach.
I did pick one of them. Which one do you guys think I picked?
Oh, you have to pick.
I think
FTL.
I think it's into the breach.
Probably. Yeah. Into the breach.
Into the Breach is the one I went with. I played the crap
It's
out of
so
both of
good.
them. And I actually go back occasionally to both of them. Into the Breach is the one I specifically chose because I love the strategy of it, and I played the crap out of this on the front runner, going to and from work when I was working up at Salt Lake.
Yeah,
So-
that's the one I keep seeing it. I remember seeing it popping up all the time on your Steam.
Yeah,
I
Like,
stole
it just-
so many hours from my employer playing FTL.
yeah. FTL might as well be turn-based with how I was playing it.
Oh, you would pause?
all the time.
Oh, okay.
But look, the game doesn't play fair. I'm not going to play fair back.
Sure.
Into the Breach also,
still
to
need to
this
beat
day,
that one.
its undo button so that you can move things around and sort of see how they'll fit until you actually take an action is something all strategy games should have. And I miss it whenever I play XCOM.
I love that music too.
Oh yeah.
For
I
both
actually
those
own
games.
I loved Into the Breach so much I bought a t-shirt that they sold for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Into the Breach.
Those guys made anything since then? I've been
No,
kind of
not yet.
every now and again looking, and I'm just
They
like,
have not yet done it.
I have a guess for 16.
Okay.
Is it Hades 2?
It's not Hades 2,
Ooh.
but you just
oh,
hit
but Hades
the
1 for
Hades
sure.
1, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, Hades is on the list. Hades is I don't know what my favorite game of all time is, but Hades would be somewhere in the top 5.
It's pretty magnificent.
Hades broke
It's
you, I remember.
it's a pretty good game. Like,
It
I'm
is
not
a
even
great
a
one.
fan of that style of game, and Hades got like,
I wasn't a fan of roguelikes really at all until
Uh-huh.
Hades.
and I'm still not. Like, it's Hades, Hades 2, and Against the Storm for me. As far as I'll go with roguelike.
Yeah, I enjoy roguelites, but not roguelikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hades is just one of the most incredibly well put together games I've ever seen. The music, the gameplay,
The art,
the loop, it's just next level.
the interpretation of mythology, which I
Mhm.
enjoy. Like, it is
Fascinating.
like it is just great to see how they've reinterpreted some of these characters and some of it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm with you there. Like, it's 100 there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The final two are both shooters of a kind.
Shooters of a kind.
They feel
Well, I don't think
they're
you ever played Destiny, so that's not it.
different types of shooters.
So
There-
is one a looter shooter?
I was going to say like a Borderlands maybe, but I don't.
No, I didn't. I wanted to get into
That doesn't
Borderlands, just
strike me
never
as
could
It seemed like
quite
something you
get
would
there.
enjoy, but yeah.
Yeah, I could never.
Yeah, that kind of sounds
quite-
like what everyone said about the movie too.
Well, no, everyone
No,
said
I
it
don't-
just
I wanted to
sucks.
get it into
Say
Borderline,
anything
but
about the movie.
Though there's one that comes to mind, but I feel like Team Fortress 2 fills it far better, and you played it far more.
It
But
also didn't come out.
Overwatch-
That also was before 2018.
But like Overwatch, but I feel like TF2 filled that, and Overwatch didn't fully replace TF2.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it's
Overwatch
not.
botched its ability to be on this
Yeah.
list.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not.
actually,
Actually,
like I don't know of any other shooters that you've played. So
Left 4 Dead,
Platforms?
maybe, but yeah.
one would be considered kind of indie, I guess, and the other one's definitely not.
oh yeah, right. Thanks, breakfast. Helldivers.
Helldivers 2 is the last one on the list.
That's the
okay.
one. Yep. How did I not think of
And
that?
Divers.
Helldivers 2, it's the tone of the game is so hilarious, and I have made so many random friends playing this game. I love this game. It's stupid fun, and I don't know what it is. I've never had a game where your incompetence causes everyone to laugh instead of to get pissed off at each other. There's so many times where someone will just throw something and you just see it's going to blow up your friend. It's just like, oh, sorry. And then they die and everyone just laughs. The quote I heard someone say is, it's not a war crime if it's funny.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
Having
last-
not played that game, everything I hear about that game is a mood.
It is. And it's got the it's got the Starship Troopers tone to it, and I don't know, it scratches that itch, and I just love the communal nature of it, including when it's melting down. It's the best. I love it.
Okay,
Right,
this last one came out in 2018 between February and December.
This last one came out
It's a narrow window.
between the dates you would have to be between is early 2018 and late-ish
December
2020.
2018. Yeah. February 2018 is Into the Breach, and December 2018 is Hades.
And it's a shooter, huh?
No,
of a sort.
Hades, I wrote down its official release date, not its
Not its early access.
It was an early access a long time.
yeah, so 2020 was when it came out according to what I saw.
See, these are
September
rules that we need to
2020.
know at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't
game is
think
rigged.
I didn't think
know,
about it,
yeah,
okay?
Everyone gets 20 points except for Lizzie, who gets 30. That's only fair.
Except for Kami's.
So I'm okay with
I
that.
mean, I've got all the points. I'm the point master. I'm only here to dole out points. That's my entire job.
So this was a game. This is a game that I haven't played a ton of, but this game represents a piece of me that only those who have lived with me know exists. The darkest part of me.
Oh, well, Baggins, you're the only one who.
No, Petrivka's lived with him as well.
Yeah.
I have for some time, but I'm not
I
Catholic
am
because
trying to
I
think.
haven't lived with
okay,
you recently.
This is. I don't think anyone would think I'd put.
I've
this
got
on
to
the
I've got to
list.
delve into your Steam history.
It would be a long time since I've touched this.
I know, but I've got to dive into your
I'm just
history
gonna say
anyway.
this one because this is one I don't think people would guess is on my list. Doom Eternal.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I
I didn't even know you had Doom Eternal.
played
No, I
Yeah,
remember you
crap about through Doom.
Actually,
Eternal.
no.
when
I've
that
heard
game
him rave
launched.
about it.
Yes, you were really excited about it.
Yes,
I
you
remember
were.
Was
him
that the
raving
one just
about it.
alongside
Oh
Animal
yeah.
Crossing, or is that a later one? I
Yes,
forget.
this is the one
Yeah.
that came out with Animal Crossing.
Yes, there's a beautiful video
Yes,
by the Chalk Eaters that you need to check out if
this
you haven't.
was right at the start of COVID, but I had been waiting for this game because there was something about everything I'd seen that I'm just like, this looks like I want to play this, and then I did, and
it's so good.
the push forward combat that it makes you do. It got described by some of the gaming magazines as a ballet of ultra violence. There's a part of me that is really intrigued by just darkness and gore. And I watch a lot of horror like YouTubers. I don't watch horror movies, but I am intrigued by it. And Doom gives me the gameplay loop, and it's so violent, it's hilarious.
I still personally prefer 2016, but Eternal is a very solid choice.
And for me, I like Doom Eternal's mobs more so than 2016. I like how they fit together for.
I was gonna say it's the exact opposite for me. I dislike how Eternal stacks its things towards the end game.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the almost puzzle nature of it.
It's fine when you puzzle. It's not fine when. Okay, granted, I guess maybe it's the fact of I play on ultra violence, which means like 2 hits kills me.
Okay, yeah, I don't play at ultra violence.
Canon difficulty is easy.
Yeah, I go to canon difficulty, but
because you just kill everything.
The other reason I chose Doom Eternal is because of the story I told you guys about Doom 2. Doom Eternal is the modern Doom 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this game.
Doom 2 is the best Doom.
It is.
And Brutal Doom is the mod that makes Doom 2 into Doom Eternal.
Yes, it is.
I only ever played the shareware version of the original Doom.
It's listening to John Carmack, who was the main, well, not the main programmer, but like the best programmer
that ever lived.
Yeah, him talking about it is a fascinating subject, because apparently when they said they were going to make Doom's code available to the public, the business dev people in the company, he said, looked like all the blood flushed from their system. They're like, "You're going to do what?" And he had to really sell them on, no, this is going to make us money. And that just was not their world. And so they had to really sell them on it. And
You are not welcome in my world.
It's not about making money, it's about taking money.
well, so the thing he talked about is how, because, from their perspective, they're saying it's like, we're giving up a huge competitive advantage. It's our algorithms that make Doom possible, and no one else can do that. And to which his point was like, first of all, people are going to figure it out. It's not that, like, it's revolutionary, but as people start pulling the game apart, they'll figure it out. It's like, so we might as well give it to them. But the bigger thing is, we're going to train an entire generation of programmers to think like we do, so that when they come into our company, they're going to hit the ground running. And we're going to have a huge competitive advantage over everyone else. And plus, it's just the right thing to do, because he talks about having a proper hacker's mindset, where it's not about, hoarding information. It's about proliferating it. He's a fascinating person to listen to if you ever can find interviews with him.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's
Hack the planet.
Yeah, but that's his, like, that's literally his era of programmer. That's their way of thinking. He has the one I remember, he was on with Lex Friedman. I think he was still working over at Facebook at the time when he was doing it, though he said some very candid things about Facebook. I was just like, really? Okay. Can't believe you can say that working there. But
I think maybe he couldn't say that.
Well, I think he could, because he kind of can just say whatever he wants, because he's John.
Because he's John Carmack. Yeah.
No, he tried to put it diplomatically, but you could tell, like, there were certain things that they were doing. He's just like, yeah, that's not going to solve any problems. That's going to be an issue. But yeah, so this is my list. I don't know.
You have another list? Because we're only about an hour in.
Yeah, but I also, like, I thought this might be a little shorter. Like, is there anything on this list you're shocked is on the list?
I mean, look.
You talked about the
probably
cut, so
that's probably a better question for everyone else. Like, I've only ever known you digitally, and so I haven't gotten to see you as a gamer play except for what you show on the stream. So, or anything that we've talked about off stream, which, let's be honest, most of our conversations is just my mad ramblings at you, and you just saying, "Oh God, keep him contained."
The
Splice
Splice stream was created to contain Kamizite,
and it failed.
It did.
Much like Babylon 4 failed, and we got Babylon 5. Awesome. Anyway, but I mean, I knew Team Fortress. I knew there was going to be a Smash on there. XCOM is a no-brainer. Hades is a no-brainer. Helldivers is I should have thought of. And I know you're all up into the Turtle Powers, and you've mentioned Mario Party when your sisters have joined the stream. And everything else is just like, okay, like my World of Warcraft was just out of context from conversations we've had.
Yeah, I had to put the number of hours I've put into World of Warcraft. I had to put it on there.
Yeah,
I figured.
But Wrath of the Lich King, definitely the specific one. To answer a breakfast question, statement in chat is, yeah, Into the Breach is one. I took the time to beat the game with every single faction.
Oh, you used 3. Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, not faction. What would it be?
I know that
The
ship set. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that I unlocked them all. I don't know if I ever did a run with like the random or whatever the last one is.
At FTL, I did all the ships.
The random is so freaking, like, that's just a roll. Like, you're just like, okay, well, this is a weird group. Let's see what I can do with it. Squad. That's what it is. Squad. I couldn't think of, like, what's the term they use? No, Into the Breach is so well made. It scratches a similar itch as XCOM, but on a far simpler mode. I I've actually been trying to get my dad to play Into the Breach, but
A good strategy itch.
I am a little bit surprised that what is it? I just blanked on what it's called. Advance Wars wasn't on here.
yeah, that was one that was considered. But I figured I had between Into the Breach and XCOM, I already had enough
Right.
strategy.
Fair enough.
I love the tone of Advance Wars though.
And that's why I would have expected it to be
Yeah.
on there.
Kid friendly war.
The other one, when you mentioned it wasn't necessarily your favorite, but it was to get you, was Disgaea was one that I thought of.
Yes.
Yeah, you did dig into that.
I loved the tone of it.
Yeah. It's one that you love but didn't love.
I loved the tone of it, and then I started getting into it, and it's like, wow, I kind of hate all the systems that this has.
It's one that you wanted to love.
It's funny because I love the systems of it.
Yes.
Yes, but we've established long ago that you two appreciate different kinds of systems.
Yeah. Oh, and that was the thing, is because tonally, Disgaea, it hits everything perfectly.
Mhm.
For I Dude is one of the lines that got me to laugh so hard. I was not ready for I Dude from a stitched together penguin.
The penguin.
I was not prepared. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. If it weren't for the item world, 'cause I couldn't wrap my head around it. It's one that I might, because I actually bought when it was on sale, on Steam. I have it somewhere in my Steam library. I have either a collection or maybe it's just Disgaea 1.
I would guess that it's in the D section.
Yeah, I don't.
You just said somewhere. So
Yeah, let's see. I have it. Do I have it? Maybe I didn't buy it. I thought I did. No, there it is. Yeah, Disgaea for the PC. So it's one I might revisit because it might be one that now that I've played I've played a Persona 5, maybe it'll make more sense to me.
Maybe you've been
Wait,
softened
which
up for
one?
JRPGs.
It says
Wait.
Disgaea PC is what it's called.
Oh, just play Disgaea on the PC.
Yeah,
how did Maneater not make this list?
because my computer couldn't handle it. That game was fun, but my computer was melting down playing that game.
Well, tell it to stop.
Yeah. Maybe it's
I just yell at my computers until they do what they do what I tell them to do, and
I'm surprised
they
that
know
works
better.
for you. But no, Maneater, that's one. When I saw the trailer,
I remember
for it,
when you saw the trailer, you were
I'm
going
like trying
bonkers.
I don't think I've ever heard of this one.
so you're basically playing Jaws as the shark.
Oh, right, that game.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Except it's hyper-violent rule of cool.
Yes, it's a hyper-violent rule of cool. Your shark evolves. The part that I lost it, and I'm like, I have to play this game.
Oh god.
Was
Let me
the
find
shark
trailer,
could go
I'll
up
send it
on
to you.
land and it like flops around on land eating people and so they're like running from it. And
Sounds like a violent version of Goat Simulator.
it kind of, that's not a bad comparison actually.
Yeah, I
It-
can see that.
That's
so-
terrifying to think
Ugh.
about.
But I tried to play, cause Baggins was kind enough to gift it to me. And
That's right.
I tried to play and my computer could not handle it. It was so slow, which it's a game that really wants you to be playing fluidly. And 'cause when you get it to work, like when there were less things on the screen and I was getting it to move, like it kind of has that Doom Eternal feel where you're moving really fast. Except, underwater in a 3D environment. And then you try and get under boats and then you crack them in half, just send everyone flying and then pick off the stragglers.
It's an utterly horrifying game.
It is. But it's all told from the perspective of like a nature documentary. So there's a guy commentating.
That's
the
right. It's
entire
got like
time.
Yeah, it's got like the Crocodile Hunter style.
Yeah, and
Or
it's
actually, no, it's more of the David Attenborough.
yeah, it's an American.
We see
but
the shark in his
Yeah, you see the shark as it comes upon, the helpless ship. Like, it's narrating people's doom, essentially. It's a great concept, but yeah, the game was not optimized for my potato. But yeah, I there's a world where Maneater could potentially be on this list. But no. So, this was an experiment. Did you guys like doing this?
I very much enjoyed it.
I think it's fun. This is a good concept.
I
Okay.
feel like I feel like had I known that this was going to be, I would have prepared differently.
Yeah.
But other
Well,
than that, it was fun.
all right. Yeah.
I
I-
didn't specifically prepare. I feel like I've been preparing for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, I
helps-
came in here. I came in here with a list of stuff that Splice didn't like because I was going to bring that up.
Mm.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I think that's a fair.
Yeah, there's
and
something
I
to be
think-
said for an anti-list.
I don't think that should be written off for anyone else's lists in the future.
Oh
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. But I would be interested being one of the few people who regulars this that almost doesn't know any of you. Like some of you guys, like some of you guys have gotten to know me decently well, but
I
I'm-
wonder how I've known you the longest, and even I am thinking, I don't know what I would exactly put on
A
this list.
peek within the mind, as
I-
it were.
I don't know. For Kamizite, I would guess.
Well,
D&D
wait.
games,
Yeah, don't
but,
guess
yeah.
because
Let's leave it.
He's gonna
I mean,
do a-
like,
he's
I'm
gonna
like,
do a list.
I mean, like, and if you do decide to do this forward and you want me to do one, you have to make the graphic first because I have to get this out on my socials ahead of time because there are a bunch of people who I get to come check this out live.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
What
But,
you're saying
like,
is
I would-
you're bribing Splice with engagement to do this.
I've tried to bribe Splice with engagement for the last 2 months. Get me the graphic early. I will put it on my socials. I will not only that, like I was mentioning in a meeting at work today. I was like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast tonight. I don't know when it's going to be, but it's about Splice's favorite games, and everyone's like, oh, I want to go. It's like, well, I don't have a link yet, but if I get one before the end of work, I'll let you know.
You can give him a link to the channel.
Behind the curtain,
Mm-hmm.
if you have it out too early, the algorithm basically buries your video so no one will ever see it.
Huh.
Is
It's-
that why?
Yeah.
Because because like I kept thinking to myself, it's like, man,
So-
I could get I could bring engagement in.
I've been listening to
give them
I've been
enough
listening to
time.
content creators talking about live streaming. They say about 2 hours before is when they have found the algorithm doesn't punish them for putting it too early.
The way that YouTube handles it is that when you post when you schedule the stream, that moment will then look like an upload to people, and so people will click on it and check it out, and then it's like, oh, this is a live stream for sometime in the future. And then when the stream goes live, it won't necessarily notify them again, but it will go to the top of their subscriber feed if they're looking at their subscriber feed. The problem is a lot of people don't just look at their subscriber feed.
I never
YouTube is
do.
dumb.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that YouTube does that are dumb because they're trying to make their platform be Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and an ad platform all at the same time. And now they also want to be Hollywood. So,
Oh, and they also want to be TikTok.
that's right. Yeah, and TikTok.
I know YouTube is trying to be everything, and it's like pretty good at some of them, pretty bad at others.
Yep.
YouTube, the Walmart of content creators.
That's a problem. Anyway, yeah. So
Anyway,
yeah, so I look for. Okay, I'm glad you guys like this. This is something I'd like to do every couple months or so and grab a different person each time.
I will make sure that I get
Now-
another
now-
raid night off.
Here's the
do
question
this.
I want to put forward for a very specific person. Do we think it's better if Lunasar and Lizzie are together or not?
Like in real life? Like
I
I
mean,
mean, like, are you trying to break up their marriage, Splice? What?
Dude,
No.
that just
What is
got
happening?
They're both on the
escalated
same
quickly.
show.
As soon as he said it, I'm like, wait,
Mental
that
note.
sounded wrong.
Work
Crazy.
that better next
Oh my
time.
gosh.
I saw that reaction coming a mile away, man.
I sadly did not, and then it happened. It's just like I deserve
honestly,
this.
Don't you claim some responsibility for them getting together in the first
I
place?
do.
You arranged this.
I started this relationship. I can end it. No, I
don't
meant,
think it happened. That's how it works.
Oh, it's not? Okay, well, I'm going to have to amend that then. No, I meant when Lunarsar or Lizzie do this, is it better or to have them both on at the same time or not? Lunarsar, you obviously have a vested interest.
It probably depends on how they choose to format their list.
I feel like the best would be best equipped to answer that question.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys think about it. That's just something I was thinking about. Just like, is that better?
Oh,
or
I think Lizzie
worse?
might be coming for you, by the way.
So wait, are you saying you just would want us both on the stream or not
Well,
both
well,
on
that's
the
what I'm
stream
saying.
or,
Totally.
Yeah,
or
just
doing
sort of-
them at the same time?
Well, it's like, let's say we're doing yours. Is having Lizzie on too powerful, or is it essential? Like, because I feel like it's either or.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't have like a huge advantage, you know. For you,
That's
at
a fair
least.
point.
I did feel like I had to hold back quite a bit. Just because I know when you're playing games, because A, it pops up on Steam, and B, if I'm downstairs playing another game, sometimes I'll even hear it.
I mean, but
True.
also to play the other side of that, Lizzie can maybe provide some context that maybe even Lunarsar can't.
That
for some of the choices on the list.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is there are certain ones that would have come before they were ever together, and so
Well, if I'm honest, the majority of the games that I would think of first were games that I played before we ever met. Because
Okay.
I don't know, I focus on my
It
older
sounds-
games more than the newer
Between
ones,
that and what
honestly.
chat's saying, I think maybe having them both on would be a good idea.
Like, of course, if they can both be on at the same time, because
Yeah.
just basically play it by ear, however it works out for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, the anti-marriage counseling I don't recommend.
Yeah, that
like that was that
was
took
a bold
dark turn
that was a
real
bold
quick.
choice on my part, frankly.
Like I was confused. I was legitimately confused. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was just like, wait a minute, did this just turn into a are we where are the cameras? Are we like on?
Are we on Maury?
It's the start.
Is this about? Am I about to be shocked in Spanish?
This is the start of the Splice heel turn.
Is this the Splice? Is this the
Becomes
Splice
becomes Dark
telenovela?
Splice.
No, we all know Dark Splice is just Larry.
Well, if you remember, splice does mean to put together and to split apart.
Fair enough.
Yeah, dang. I never thought about it so deeply like that.
But his job is to keep marriages.
He named
together
himself
right now.
after a villain.
A really bad one.
Quality doesn't matter.
See, I keep telling you that I'm the superhero of your stream, and all along you've been a supervillain in hiding.
No,
Or just
I was
someone
right.
who phrases things poorly.
Sorry, splice doesn't put together and take apart. That's cleave, but it's splice and slice. So this is your dark side.
Well, it's because to splice something literally means to cut, then put it back together. Because when you splice film, that's what you're doing.
Splicing actually is just joining.
Yeah, I've spliced.
Is this going to be the next hour of
fiber optic
content? Are we
cable.
just going to argue over what
It's
splice means?
semantics time.
I mean,
guys.
yeah.
Let's go.
All right, let's get doing that. Let's get going. All right, Pirate, do you have anything you want to promote?
Nope, just happy to be here.
We're happy you're here.
Indeed.
All right, Mithril.
We talked about Doom. We mentioned John Carmack or John Romero. One of those two.
Both of them are fine.
Both of them, technically. Which reminded me of something that I've seen recently. It's spooky season. So if you want a spooky, has the vibe of creepypasta, but is an actual thing that exists,
Is this,
look up. myhouse.wad.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh,
I
can't
recently
recommend
went on a
this.
deep dive on that. It is the mastery of the Doom Maker engine that the person had in order to create that is astounding. So look it up. If you have a chance, play through it yourself first before you watch a video on it, then watch reaction videos, and then watch someone who, there are channels who like take it apart piece by piece and are like, this is how everything works. There's even I forget if it's Carmack or Romero, a video of him playing it and his first
Really?
reaction to it.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to
It's
find that.
fantastic.
No,
And
My
it's,
House Doom, it'll blow your mind, man.
yeah, myhouse.wad.
You're right.
Because that's how Doom files
that is
are.
perfect for Halloween. That is a good call.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lunasar.
I will promote Lizzie's stream because our marriage is doing wonderful.
So far,
As a
we'll
matter
see
of
if
fact.
we'll see if my ability to mistalk will ruin that or not.
Despite the storms buffeting at it.
It's like we actually do have an anniversary coming up, so, yeah. But she will be doing a special stream tomorrow in honor of our anniversary tomorrow, I believe, so, if I'm not mistaken. Though we actually have yeah. So, yeah. Joins Lizzie's stream tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, yes, and Lizzie ran into Breakfast's sister today, just randomly, so.
Cool.
All right, Kamizite.
Hi, everyone. As you all know, my partner Karina J has been in a contest over on Tapas. It's a writing contest, which will be wrapping up at the end of this month. She is writing a story called Entangled Enemies. I would find it very, very, very much a favor to myself, your favorite hero here. If you went over and you joined Tapas, you went over and found Entangled Enemies. I put the link in the self-promotion section of the Splice Stream Discord. Go ahead and give that a subscribe. Like the chapters, read them, comment on them, do whatever. Because more engagement makes it easier for her to win. Top 50, get a cash prize. So help me out and help my partner out. She would really much appreciate it. And don't take marriage advice from Splice, apparently, as well.
Apparently.
I thought your job was keeping marriages together.
That's what I thought
That's been the
too.
joke. That's been the joke for the last week, and then you drop this bombshell.
Yeah, that sentence really took a left turn, didn't it?
Some people
Yes, it
still do.
did.
All right, Baggins.
The Sandersonian Institute of Cosmere Studies. If you're a fan of Brandon Sanderson, you should definitely check out our podcast. We record every other Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We will stream the live recording at youtube.com/Cosmere Studies. We've been going through some mega spoiler stuff lately, so just be careful. But we have a huge backlog of other stuff that you should definitely check out if you haven't.
When's the next book drop?
Next book drops on December, I want to say 5th, 6th.
December.
Drops today.
I was
First
hoping
weekend,
it was November.
first weekend of December.
Have to wait. Okay.
I'm actually glad that it's December because it used to be this. He always drops it at his big convention, and that used to be the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving, which was really rough on my travel schedule.
All right. Yeah, and then you can always find me twitch.tv/SpliceStream or here on YouTube. We have been doing a bunch of XCOM 2 stuff recently, as I have not had time to really branch out, but that's fine because I am having ideas for Tales from the Infirmary, and I am very excited for this video series. Unfortunately, I have to record the entire thing before I can get started on making the videos, so we'll see how I quickly can do that.
Wow. It sounds to me like I think you overleveled.